We were about to get married, but Vanessa Brooks was suddenly entangled with a young man. This man was passionate to the extreme. He even tattooed Vanessa Brooks's name on his collarbone. Every time she mentioned him, Vanessa Brooks would show visible displeasure. Do troublemakers always cause drama? She didn't realize that when she hugged him tightly and said, "I give up, I love you. Isn't it enough that I love you?" At that moment, I didn't argue or create a scene. We were about to get married, but Vanessa Brooks was suddenly entangled with a young man. This man was passionate to the extreme. He even tattooed Vanessa Brooks's name on his collarbone. Every time she mentioned him, Vanessa Brooks would show visible displeasure. Do troublemakers always cause drama? She didn't realize that when she hugged him tightly and said, "I give up, I love you. Isn't it enough that I love you?" At that moment, I didn't argue or create a scene. The hopelessness in his eyes suddenly sparked with light again. Still uncertain, he turned around and asked, "What did you say?" I said, "I love you. I, Vanessa Brooks, love you, Ryan Carter." At that moment, Vanessa Brooks's eyes were red. She was always calm and cold, but under pressure, she looked like a girl of 20, confessing her love in public. And Ryan Carter was deeply moved. He turned as if preparing to jump down from the railing, perhaps afraid he might get hurt. Vanessa Brooks rushed forward and threw her arms around him. When Ryan Carter fell into Vanessa Brooks's embrace, he was overjoyed and shouted, "I knew it. I knew you loved me. I knew I had a place in your heart." The people around applauded as they embraced like lovers who had overcome all obstacles. Everyone, except me. Because I had been Vanessa Brooks's boyfriend for 7 years. In just 3 days, we were supposed to get married. The hotel, the wedding car, the gown. Everything had been arranged. All we were waiting for was the day she would put on the dress and marry me. But today, I saw her tell another man that she loved him. It made me feel that her love was cheap, something anyone could take. I felt numb, just standing there, staring ahead. Vanessa Brooks held on to Ryan Carter so tightly, it was as if she wanted to fuse him into her bones and blood. Only when Ryan Carter gasped that he couldn't breathe did she reluctantly let go. Everything had been arranged. All we were waiting for was the day she would put on the dress and marry me. But today, I saw her tell another man that she loved him. It made me feel that her love was cheap, something anyone could take. I felt numb, just standing there, staring ahead. Vanessa Brooks held on to Ryan Carter so tightly, it was as if she wanted to fuse him into her bones and blood. Only when Ryan Carter gasped that he couldn't breathe did she reluctantly let go. Then the seriousness on her face gave way to helpless indulgence. "Fine, I really can't do anything about you." Ryan Carter smiled like spring sunshine. "I'm hungry," he said, rubbing his belly. Vanessa Brooks took his hand. "Let's go. I'll take you to eat." The two walked off hand in hand, disappearing into the crowd. I didn't know how long I stood there until a staff member from bridal shop called me. "Mr. Walker, it's time for your wedding attire fitting. Are you and Miss Brooks here yet?" The wedding dress and suit for Vanessa Brooks and me had been booked 6 months in advance. I had already tried mine on twice when it was finished. But Vanessa Brooks had never done it even once. She was always too busy. If she wasn't negotiating projects at the company, she was working with the Research Institute. At the busiest time in the DNA lab, she even ate, slept, and used the restroom at work. I couldn't help but call her. "Vanessa Brooks, do you love your job that much? Why don't you just marry your job and stop wasting someone else's youth?" Every time I said that, Vanessa Brooks would pull me into her arms and say, "No. Work is work. A husband is a husband. I work so hard just to give you a better life." As the wedding drew near, Vanessa Brooks finally made time to try on the wedding dress, just half a day. But on the way there, she suddenly got a call. After a brief conversation, she hung up and turned to look at me. In her calm eyes, there was a hint of guilt. "There's been an issue at the company. I need to handle it right away. You go check the wedding dress on your own." Before I could say a word, she had already stepped on the gas and driven away. Vanessa Brooks was always composed, so if she was that anxious, something big must have happened. I was worried and even thought that if she didn't come home tonight, I'd send her favorite food to the office. Her stomach had always struggled with the long hours she worked. But the truth was, she didn't rush off to handle a work emergency. She rushed off to meet Ryan Carter. A sharp pain pierced my chest as I watched the direction she drove away. Not long after, I received a message from her, "All right. I'll reschedule for you tomorrow. I don't need the wedding dress anymore." It was the weekend. Someone in our friend group messaged, "Hey, anyone up for a gathering today? The most important thing is, it's just a few days until Vanessa Brooks and her fiancé's wedding. We've already got everything ready. All right, see you there." Another person joined in. Just as I was about to cancel the hotel and wedding car we had booked, a message popped up in our group chat, the one shared by me and Vanessa Brooks. Everyone except me and Vanessa Brooks had already responded, agreeing to meet at 7 p.m. at the usual spot. After a while, seeing that I hadn't replied, they tagged me to remind me. I thought for a moment, then responded, "Tonight, I'll take the chance to announce my breakup with Vanessa Brooks." Vanessa Brooks didn't usually check her phone, so it wasn't strange that she hadn't responded in the group. Everyone assumed I'd tell her. I did plan to do that. I needed to talk to her and make the breakup official. Vanessa Brooks picked up my call quickly, but there was a lot of background noise. I could even hear Ryan Carter calling out to her, "Vanessa, where are you?" I rubbed my forehead and asked, "Vanessa, what's going on?" She deliberately covered the receiver and replied, "At the company." I closed my eyes and didn't call her out. Instead, I asked, "Did you see the group message? Tonight at 7, same place. Don't forget." Vanessa Brooks glanced at the group chat and replied, "Got it. I'll be there." I stayed quiet for a few seconds, unsure what else to say. After ending the call, I said one last thing. "Social gathering. You get back to work, I won't bother you anymore." Just as I was about to hang up, Vanessa Brooks suddenly called out to me, sounding flustered and panicked. "What is it now?" I asked calmly. "What is it?" She didn't answer right away. After a brief silence, she seemed to compose herself, and her voice returned to normal. "It's nothing. I'll be on time." "Oh. I just missed you." Afraid I would hang up without a response. That night, on the way to the gathering, I got stuck in traffic for a few minutes. When I looked up, the elevator hadn't come down yet. To avoid making everyone wait, I decided to take the stairs. The restaurant was on the 4th floor, it wasn't too high. "Vanessa, what were you thinking? You brought Ryan Carter here. What will you say when your fiancé arrives?" When I reached the 3rd floor, I heard familiar voices above. It was Sophia Martinez and Vanessa Brooks. Facing Sophia Martinez's questioning, Vanessa Brooks pressed her lips together and explained, "There's nothing going on between me and Ryan Carter." When I heard Vanessa Brooks say that there was nothing between her and Ryan Carter, an image flashed through my mind. Them hugging tightly on the bridge. To a woman, perhaps nothing simply means we didn't sleep together. As if anything short of that means there's no betrayal. I couldn't help but laugh bitterly. I had confidently believed that the woman who had been by my side for the past 7 years was different, responsible. Who would have thought that all women are the same? "Ms. Brooks, have you thought this through? You and your fiancé are getting married in just a few days. Do you really want to throw away years of love just because Ryan Carter suddenly appeared?" The voice of persuasion continued. Vanessa Brooks didn't respond immediately, then said, "I'll handle this myself." Seeing that she wouldn't listen, Sophia Martinez said no more, and the two left in silence. Only after confirming that Vanessa Brooks wouldn't return did I continue walking upstairs. The door to the private room opened. It was already packed. The most noticeable thing was that the seat next to Vanessa Brooks, which used to be mine, was now occupied by someone else, Ryan Carter. "You're here, brother-in-law. Have a seat." The first one to notice me was Sophia Martinez, who immediately waved me over. There was no empty seat next to her. She did that just to make a point to Ryan Carter, hoping he'd get the message and give up the seat. But Ryan Carter sat there, propping up his chin with an innocent expression, seemingly oblivious to her hints. Only after I sat quietly in a corner did he finally react. "Oh, Mr. Ethan, am I sitting in your seat? I'm really sorry, I'll move right away." Just as he made a move to stand up, Vanessa Brooks reached out and pulled him back, firmly saying, "Sit still. Stay by my side tonight and don't cause any trouble." Ryan Carter looked aggrieved and explained, "I think I'm sitting in Mr. Ethan's seat. I wanted to give it back to him." Vanessa Brooks leaned closer to him. Her eyes scanned the room until they landed on me in the far corner. When she saw me, a flicker of guilt and confusion passed through her eyes, but she quickly masked it. Then she told Ryan Carter, "You're my teacher's nephew. I'm responsible for you. Tonight, you stay by my side, no wandering around." Ryan Carter's uncle was the teacher whom Vanessa Brooks admired most during her student days. Among all the students, she had always been the teacher's favorite. She often praised him, so when he asked her 3 months ago to take care of his nephew, freshly returned from abroad and still unaccustomed to local life, she agreed without hesitation. To everyone else, it just seemed like she was being kind because of the teacher, indulging the boy out of respect. If I hadn't overheard her confession to him on the bridge, I might have been fooled by her explanation too. Ryan Carter looked displeased, clearly unhappy about having to wait, but finally gave in reluctantly. "All right." However, when Vanessa Brooks wasn't looking, he glanced at me with smug defiance, but I didn't care. I just smiled faintly and thought, "Vanessa, I don't care anymore. Even a broken chair doesn't matter to me now." Everyone had arrived, so we could finally begin eating. At the table, aside from jokes about strange work situations, most of the conversation revolved around my and Vanessa Brooks's upcoming wedding in 3 days. As they spoke about the wedding, they began reminiscing about the first time we met, our college days, and how we fell in love. In everyone's shared memories, I found myself reliving those beautiful moments when we met, got to know each other, and fell in love. "Brother-in-law, I bet there's something you didn't know," Sophia Martinez suddenly said, raising her hand with the boldness of someone who had been drinking. Her move immediately drew everyone's attention. I instinctively asked, "What is it?" Before she could say anything, she let out 2 chuckles. Vanessa Brooks seemed to know what was coming. Her face turned slightly pale and she faked a cough to stop her. "Before she pursued you, she had already secretly loved you for a long time. She even kept a love diary hidden under her pillow." Huh. She thought we didn't know, but in reality, the whole dorm had read it. The moment Sophia Martinez finished speaking, I was left dumbfounded, while Ryan Carter was clearly filled with jealousy and resentment. Vanessa Brooks didn't want to bring this up, but the others just laughed like teasing older sisters. "Don't be mad, Ms. Brooks. Go get the diary and show it to your fiancé, let him know just how much you loved him." Sophia nudged Vanessa with her elbow, noticing her gloomy expression. Vanessa Brooks didn't react, just pulled away to keep some distance. I knew Sophia did that to try and rekindle the feelings between me and Vanessa. But I had already decided I didn't want her anymore. So I wasn't about to be moved by some love diary I had never even seen. Even so, I still gave Sophia a thankful glance. "Ethan, congratulations to you and Ms. Brooks, finally a couple, love coming to full bloom. I raise this glass to you." It was then that Ryan Carter, who hadn't been able to get a word in until now, suddenly stood up with a glass of white liquor in hand. His face was flushed, eyes misty as if he was about to cry. It was clear that Sophia's earlier words had deeply affected him. I raised an eyebrow at him. "Drinking like this is no fun." "So what do you want?" he snapped back. I glanced at the empty bowl beside me. Before I could even finish my thought, Ryan Carter had already responded eagerly, "That's fine." Without hesitation, he filled a whole bowl with white liquor. Seeing this, Vanessa could no longer sit still. She immediately grabbed his wrist. "That's enough. Don't make a scene. You won't be able to outdrink him." Ryan Carter yanked his arm free in frustration. "How would you know if I don't try? I have to prove to him that I can drink better than he can." Though he didn't say more, I could already tell, he wanted to prove that he was better than me, more suitable for Vanessa than I was. "Ethan, he's still young, why are you going along with his nonsense?" Seeing that she couldn't stop Ryan Carter, Vanessa turned to try and reason with me. "He's just a kid, I'm only 3 years older than him. And at his age, I couldn't drink either, but I learned." She stopped speaking, and I nearly forgot that I, too, had once been a guy who couldn't hold even a sip of liquor. But for Vanessa, I began building my own business to support her, to stand by her side in front of her difficult clients. I went from getting drunk after a single beer to being able to drink countless glasses without faltering. I drank until my stomach was damaged. I still remember waking up in a hospital room, and Vanessa Brooks was kneeling beside me, crying like a child. "Honey, I swear to you, someday I'll make a lot of money, I'll succeed. I won't let you drink another drop of alcohol because of me. I won't let anyone humiliate you ever again." She kept that promise. But when she finally had status and fame, the one she protected wasn't me. When I refused to back down, Vanessa Brooks lightly licked her lips and said, "All right, I'll drink for him." Without hesitation, she picked up Ryan Carter's bowl and downed it in one go. I looked at the bowl of liquor in front of me, and couldn't help it, one tear fell. So meaningless. I couldn't stop laughing, but I didn't drink. After quickly wiping away the tear at the corner of my eye, I glanced at Vanessa Brooks. She wasn't a strong drinker, but this time, drinking so quickly to take Ryan Carter's place had made her choke. Her face turned red. Ryan Carter leaned in, worried. "Ms. Brooks, are you okay?" Vanessa Brooks wanted to throw up, but held it back. She gritted her teeth and forced down the last drop. Then she looked up at me, her eyes silently saying, "I drank it for him. Don't make things harder for him." I looked at her but said nothing. The room was silent, no one dared breathe too loudly. "I'm sorry, everyone," I finally said, "I just remembered I've got some unfinished work. I'll be leaving now." In the end, I was still the loser, because I didn't want to lose the last bit of my dignity. Everyone knew I was making an excuse, but no one stopped me. Sofia Martinez offered to take me home, but since he'd been drinking, he couldn't drive. Just as we stepped out of the private room, I heard a commotion behind us. Vanessa Brooks had fainted. By the time I took the elevator down, the ambulance had already arrived. I waited by the side of the road for a moment and saw them carry Vanessa Brooks out, with Ryan Carter by her side. Through the crowd, Ryan Carter suddenly turned to look at me, mouthing the words, "I won." Just then, my car arrived. Without hesitation, I got in. When I returned to the home I used to share with Vanessa Brooks, it was already 11 p.m. The apartment was just over 80 square meters, small enough that you could see everything in one glance. But this was the first place Vanessa Brooks and I had rented after graduating from university, using all our savings. It was our first home in this city. Later, when she became successful in business and had money, she wanted to buy a bigger house. But I disagreed. I told her to contact the landlord and buy this apartment instead, because it held so many memories for us. After we bought it, I renovated and decorated it bit by bit with my own hands. Thinking back, we struggled so much back then, and now it all just feels like a joke. Though the house was full of furniture, all I could take with me was a single suitcase. When I finished packing, a colleague of mine, who had been sent on a business trip to the south, texted me to say he was waiting downstairs. On the way to the airport, I deleted Vanessa Brooks's number, and all the numbers of people connected to her. Looking at the group chat from the dinner earlier, I sent one final message before I left: sorry for leaving in such a rush just now. I forgot to mention, my wedding with Vanessa Brooks has been cancelled. From now on, she and I will have nothing to do with each other. Everyone was shocked and started bombarding me with questions. I didn't reply, I simply left the group. Only Ryan Carter remained. Just as I was about to tap on his profile picture to delete him, it suddenly changed, from a cartoon avatar to a selfie. It was a photo of him sitting next to Vanessa Brooks's hospital bed. His collar was deliberately pulled low, exposing his collarbone. And there it was, the tattoo of Vanessa Brooks. I froze for a moment. In that haze, my mind flashed back to 2 weeks ago. I didn't know what I ate, but I had severe abdominal pain. The first person I thought to call for help was Vanessa Brooks. But that day, I called her over 10 times and no one picked up. The more she didn't answer, the more determined I became. In the end, when I called her again, her phone was turned off. Then I blacked out. When I woke up, I found myself in a hospital bed. The doctor told me I had suffered a ruptured appendix. Fortunately, a neighbor took me to the hospital in time, otherwise, it could have been fatal. After the doctor left, Vanessa Brooks finally called. Maybe she had run all the way over, her hair was a mess. When she saw me lying in the hospital bed, her usually cold and composed expression was gone, and her eyes were red. She kept apologizing over and over. Then suddenly pulled down the collar of her shirt to reveal a blooming flower tattoo on her collarbone. It looked like a rose, but also like a jasmine. "Didn't you say you liked roses?" she said. "So I got it tattooed here, so you could see it every day." Below the flower was an English word, mid. When I saw that tattoo, all my resentment, all my complaints, disappeared. I just smiled and said, "You're too old to be doing silly things like this." But Vanessa Brooks held my hand firmly, not at all acting childish. "I just wanted to say, you're the one I love." But now when I think back, the one who wanted the tattoo that day wasn't Vanessa Brooks, it was Ryan Carter. She had stood beside him as he tattooed her name on his body. Vanessa Brooks had replaced it with a blooming jasmine flower. The person meant to be her true love wasn't me, it was clearly Ryan Carter. And I had been foolish enough to think it was for me. How ridiculous. "Ethan, are you still awake?" "I'm awake," I replied. "Just thinking about something. Honestly, I can't sleep unless I tell you." Just then, Ryan Carter suddenly messaged me. He didn't wait for me to respond, just kept sending messages. "Do you know why Ms. Brooks wasn't with you on your birthday?" "It's because I called her and said an old lady was following me. Miss Brooks was extremely worried and immediately drove over to find me. As a result, the two of us accidentally ended up sleeping together." Perhaps afraid that I wouldn't believe him, Ryan Carter even sent me a series of photos of him and Vanessa Brooks lying in bed together as proof. That day, Vanessa Brooks told me that her company was launching a new product and that it was a critical time. Everyone was busy, so she had to sleep at the office. Since then, she never worked overtime again. Every day she came home on time, had dinner with me, and went for walks with me. In reality, that was just her remorse after cheating. Looking at the photos of Vanessa Brooks sleeping soundly, I strangely didn't feel heartbroken at all. Ryan Carter kept sending messages, "Mr. Walker, you were just a little luckier than me and forced her to meet you first. If she had met me back then, she never would have fallen for you. But that's okay. I'll accept it. Let's just say those past few years, Miss Brooks got bitten by a dog. Mr. Walker, if I were you, the moment I knew the woman I loved no longer loved me, I would have packed up and left. Otherwise, staying would only make things worse. I didn't show any expression reading those messages from Ryan Carter. Maybe because I didn't respond at all, he grew frustrated. He typed for a long time but didn't send anything. "Mr. Walker, what are you staring at so intently?" At that moment, a colleague beside me patted my shoulder and reminded me it was time to board the plane. I sent one final message, forwarding the texts and photos that Ryan Carter had sent me to someone who had been fiercely opposing Vanessa Brooks recently. I also added, "Hello, I've received your message." After sending it, I thought, someone as smart as Daniel Wright would know exactly how to use these messages to hurt Vanessa Brooks. Before boarding, I took the card out of my phone, snapped it in half, and threw it in the trash. "Vanessa Brooks, goodbye. From now on, let's never meet again." When Vanessa Brooks woke up, it was already the next afternoon. She saw Ryan Carter sitting beside her and asked drowsily, "Why is it you?" Ryan Carter was happy to see her awake, but upon hearing that question, his expression soured. "What, you didn't want to see me? Then who did you want to see?" Seeing he was unhappy, Vanessa Brooks tried to comfort him. "It's not that I didn't want to see anyone. I was probably just thinking of my fiancé. It's a shame, from the time I passed out last night until now, he hasn't come to visit me even once." Ryan Carter responded with a sarcastic tone, "Well, I see where your heart is." Hearing that Ethan Walker hadn't visited her, Vanessa Brooks frowned slightly. She figured he must be angry with her, but it was okay. Knowing his personality, all she had to do was explain things when she got home. If that didn't work, she could buy him a gift or cook something he liked. He would surely forgive her. "Can you get me my phone?" She wanted to change the subject and look for her phone. Ryan Carter had held onto it all night. Throughout the night, he had tried to unlock her password but failed. In frustration, he threw it back to her. She quickly entered a few digits, and Ryan Carter asked, 0608? "What's that?" Without thinking, she replied, "It's Ethan Walker's birthday." His face changed instantly. "Ethan Walker again? Vanessa Brooks, is he the only one in your mind? What am I to you?" Ryan Carter had always been treated like a prince since he was young. But now, his one failure in life was standing in front of Vanessa Brooks. Even after everything he had done to win her over, all she could think about was another man. He couldn't take it anymore and finally exploded. Vanessa Brooks remembered how Ryan Carter had almost jumped off a bridge before. The fear of that memory still lingered in her heart. Seeing that he was angry, his words became even more heated. This was something he had warned about before. "If you don't like it, I'll change it right away," she said. Hearing that Vanessa Brooks agreed to change it, Ryan Carter calmed down a bit, but he demanded, "Change it right now, in front of me." Ryan Carter didn't just ask Vanessa Brooks to change the phone unlock password, he also demanded that she change her bank password, login credentials for various apps, and more. Only after Vanessa Brooks changed all her passwords to Ryan Carter's birthday did he finally smile, hug her tightly, and kiss her cheek. With a look of satisfaction, he said, "I knew it, you love me the most." After the commotion, Vanessa Brooks started to feel hungry. She said, "Ryan, go get me something to eat." Ryan Carter frowned. "Why should I go? I took care of you all night, I'm hungry too." Hearing this, Vanessa Brooks was stunned for a moment. Memories of the past involuntarily came flooding back. Whenever she had a headache or caught a cold, Ethan Walker not only took care of her but also brought her delicious meals once she woke up. Looking at Ryan Carter, Vanessa Brooks sighed. "Fine, I'll order food." But Ryan Carter immediately said, "Ordering out won't do. I want roast duck. Go buy it for me." Vanessa Brooks silently looked over at the person still transfusing fluids. "Okay, but you'll have to wait a bit. I'm still getting 4 fluids." Ryan Carter didn't notice her expression and simply nodded. Seeing Ryan Carter pull out his phone to play games, Vanessa Brooks started to work as well. However, this time when she turned on her phone, several business partners and company directors simultaneously sent her a link. When she opened it, she discovered it was intimate photos of her and Ryan Carter. In just one night, the top trending topic online became about her. And after some deliberate manipulation, discussions online shifted from her private life to her company's products, the quality, after-sales service, and more. Faced with angry inquiries from partners, Vanessa Brooks furiously leaned in toward Ryan Carter. "What are these photos?" she screamed, startling him so much that his hand trembled and his game character died instantly. Ryan Carter was annoyed and walked up to her. "Don't you see I'm playing a game?" A clear display of entitlement. Vanessa Brooks gritted her teeth and demanded, "I asked you, why were our photos leaked online?" Realizing she was genuinely angry, Ryan Carter finally dropped his annoyed look. Glancing at the photos, he hesitantly said, "I don't know." Vanessa Brooks saw through his lie, his voice was getting louder. "You don't know? Weren't you the one who took these photos?" Knowing he couldn't hide it any longer, Ryan Carter admitted, "Yes, I took them. But I didn't post them online. I only sent them to Ethan Walker. That's it. It must have been Ethan Walker who posted them. He wants to hurt you." Vanessa Brooks's head was spinning. "What did you say?" "I said I sent them to Ethan Walker." Vanessa Brooks violently pulled the 4 needle from her arm, blood splattered everywhere, but she didn't seem to feel any pain. She walked up to Ryan Carter and coldly asked word by word, "Why did you do that?" Ryan Carter had never seen her so angry. He panicked. "I just wanted him to stop bothering you. I wanted him to know that you no longer loved him or cared about him. I didn't think he would post those photos online." Listening to his explanation, Vanessa Brooks closed her eyes. Her mind was filled with thoughts of Ethan Walker, how heartbroken he must be seeing those photos. Her rage could no longer be suppressed. She raised her hand and slapped Ryan Carter hard across the face. "I told you, Ethan Walker is my boundary. Whatever happens between us, he must never know." Vanessa Brooks had never wanted Ethan Walker and Ryan Carter to become estranged because of her. Ryan Carter was stunned by the slap. It took him a while to react. Holding his swollen cheek, he looked at Vanessa Brooks in disbelief. "You hit me? You hit me over Ethan Walker?" Vanessa Brooks no longer wanted to get entangled with Ryan Carter. All she could think about was going home to explain everything to Ethan Walker. "Ryan Carter, this is where it ends between us. You're not going anywhere." Ryan Carter grabbed Vanessa Brooks tightly, refusing to let her leave. Vanessa Brooks couldn't take it anymore. Ryan Carter immediately ran to the window, half of his body hanging outside. "Vanessa Brooks, if you take one more step, I'll jump." It was the 5th floor, if not death, then serious injury. "If you want to die, then hurry up and do it," Vanessa Brooks said without even turning around. She left, but Ryan Carter, afraid of dying, didn't dare to actually jump. On her way home, Vanessa Brooks kept calling Ethan Walker, but no matter how many times she tried, all she got was a "phone turned off" message. Just thinking about what Ethan Walker might do after seeing those photos made her want to drive like she was flying. She ran countless red lights before finally arriving home. "Ethan Walker! Ethan Walker!" Vanessa Brooks pushed the door open and shouted anxiously. No one answered. She rushed to the bathroom. Seeing it empty, with none of the terrible scenes she had imagined, she finally breathed a sigh of relief. The house wasn't big, but she searched it 3 times and still found no trace of Ethan Walker. Eventually, she collapsed to the floor, drenched in sweat. Her phone lay beside her, ringing again and again, but none of the calls were from Ethan Walker. She didn't want to answer any of them. Until one call came from Sophia Martinez. "Hello? This is Sophia. Is Ethan with you? Vanessa Brooks asked, suddenly thinking that Ethan Walker must have gone to find Sophia Martinez. After all, Ethan Walker had been orphaned since childhood and, besides her, Sophia Martinez was the only close person he had in the city. But over the phone, Sophia Martinez replied, "No, I just tried calling my brother-in-law too, but I couldn't reach him." Those words made Vanessa Brooks's heart go cold. "Even you don't know where he went, then our wedding really is over." Sophia Martinez's tone suddenly changed when he mentioned Ethan Walker. "Alright, I don't know where he is." Vanessa Brooks didn't respond. She just hung up. In the following days, she went to every place Ethan Walker might have gone. But there was still no news. As she drove, her mind was filled with memories from their university days, standing under the cherry blossom trees. Ethan Walker waiting with his suitcase, so handsome that people couldn't help but admire him. Their time together had been simple, warm, and pure. Her motivation to work hard back then had been just to give him a better life. She wondered when she had started to drift away. Maybe it was after she achieved success and fame, and people who were smart and worldly began approaching her, so many men, but none ever moved her heart, until Ryan Carter appeared. That day, Ryan Carter had jumped into her life with energy and liveliness, like seeing an 18-year-old Ethan Walker, pure, youthful, full of life. She was pulled in, unable to resist. But after their first encounter, she had already thought about ending it. That's why she refused all parties and came straight home after work every day, enjoying meals cooked by Ethan Walker. But those meals were always the same, familiar dishes, and she started to feel bored. She couldn't bring herself to leave Ethan Walker, but she also couldn't resist the excitement of something new, so she kept in touch with Ryan Carter. Now that Ethan Walker was gone, Vanessa Brooks felt like her heart had been ripped away, painful and hollow. She felt like she couldn't breathe and burst into uncontrollable sobs. "Ethan Walker, where are you? Please come back. I know I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. I'm such a fool. Such an idiot." She slapped herself hard, twice. But just as she let go of the steering wheel, the car suddenly veered out of control and crashed into the roadside barrier. The barrier broke, and both car and driver plunged into the river below. Vanessa Brooks faced a series of accidents and caused significant trouble for the company. As a result, several partners joined forces to remove her from the company. By the time I received news about Vanessa Brooks, I had already been in South Africa for 3 months. These 3 months had been a time for me to adapt to the new environment and job. They told me about Ryan Carter, that he had loved Vanessa Brooks. But when he saw that she had lost both legs after the accident, he was terrified and ran away. At the same time, an old internet user, someone who had once been bullied by Ryan Carter, finally couldn't take it anymore and decided to expose everything. He accused Ryan Carter of being a well-known offender. According to the posts, in school, any girl Ryan Carter liked, he would use all kinds of means to get her, and he secretly caused trouble for the boys as well. The online community was outraged. They quickly dug up information about Ryan Carter's family. It turned out that his father was also someone who had climbed the social ladder by being a homewrecker. Both father and son became the target of public criticism. In order to avoid further damage to their reputation, Ryan Carter's family forced his parents to divorce, and he himself was kicked out of the house. After hearing all this on the phone, Sophia Martinez asked me, "Feel better now?" I wasn't too emotional when I heard it. I simply asked back, "Don't you have too much free time? Why don't you go be an entertainment reporter?" On the other end, Sophia Martinez laughed. "I'm serious. When are you coming back?" I looked outside, enjoying the beautiful weather before me. "I'm not coming back. It's great here." "Then I'll come find you," Sophia Martinez offered. I closed my eyes. "Sure. Bring your boyfriend and come vacation here. I'll treat you well." Before hanging up, I heard Sofia Martinez mutter under his breath, "You know I don't have a boyfriend." I didn't pay it any mind. I stood up and stretched. Looking ahead, I saw the future waving to me.